Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Belmont Journal, your source for news and Belmont community updates. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host today, Mike Crowley. First, let's start with some community announcements. The Department of Public Works and the Friends of Payson Park co-chairs are inviting the community to participate in a third community meeting on improvements to Payson Park. The meeting is Wednesday, October 20th at 7 p.m. on Zoom. The Zoom link is available on the calendar on the town's website. The middle and high school traffic working group will host a virtual forum on Thursday, October 21st at 7 p.m. for residents of streets most affected by student parking to discuss parking problems and potential solutions. If you can't attend, you can still send comments to the chair's email at repstein, R-E-P-S-T-I-N @belmont-ma.gov. The Zoom link and information can be found on the town's website. I'd like to welcome Franklin Tucker, editor of the Belmontonian, which you can find online at belmontonian.com. How are you, Franklin?
Thank you for having me.
So redistricting of a kind is coming to Belmont. We call it reprecincting. What can you tell us?
Well, it's part of the every 10-year census, and it's where the town basically takes all its precincts and the population in town and refigures it part of, like I said, it's the census every 10 years. Actually, the information comes from the state. The state will send the town a proposed map, and then a group, a team basically of town officials will go over it to do a little bit more fine tuning, let's say. And what is occurring?
This is driven by population change, right?
That's right. And Belmont actually saw a 10% increase of its population since the 2010 census. So there is a need to refigure the precincts.
Because otherwise you would have some precincts that have considerably more population than others. If you just
such as Precinct 6, which actually saw a small decrease in their population, while a Precinct 8, which saw the development to I believe it's the Acorn development on Route 2, increase its population by a great deal, by 800. So what's going to occur is we're going to see actually two major, major shifts of geographic locations going into different precincts. Precinct 6 will now have more of Precinct 1, and it's going to be around the Golden Street and Fairmont Street and that area. There's going to take a chunk out of it. You can see it in the map that you'll probably see on this video right now. And also what you're going to see that in Precinct 8, because they did get a bigger population from the Acorn Park Drive development, you're going to see the Hill Estate go and move into Precinct 1. So it's actually going to be crossing for the first time. That precinct is going to be moving into, or I should say, north of the commuter rail.
So Franklin, how does this affect people running for town meeting?
That's the practical effect. The most practical thing is that town meeting members in those four precincts, precinct, I believe it's 2186, will need to all 36 members are going to run again all at once. And it's going
so just for example, Franklin, let's just say, for the sake of argument, I'm somebody who has a 3-year term as a town meeting member. All of a sudden I have to come up for re-election, and it doesn't matter what my previous term was. I have to run for another term altogether.
That's correct, and it's a great way, and it's a great way they're going to figure out who's going to get a 3, 2, and 1 term, 1-year term, and that is it's going to be a first across the finish line. Basically, the first 12 will get a 3-year term. The next 12 people, as according to the vote, will then get a 2-year will get a 2-year term, and the last 12 across the line will then get a 1-year term. So those last 12 will have to from 25 to 36 will have to run again very quickly.
And Franklin, this becomes an issue for the town elections come April?
That's right. It is going to be the April town election, so expect to see a ballot that's going to be quite long.
All right. Well, big changes coming, and appreciate talking with you about these changes, Franklin. We'll talk with you next time.
Thank you very much.
Joanna Tzouvelis joins us now. She's a senior multimedia journalist with the Citizen-Herald, which you can find online at belmont.wickedlocal.com. So good to see you, Joanna.
Thank you, Mike.
I understand the Blue Butterfly is closing in Cushing Square. What can you tell us?
Yes, it's unfortunate. Cushing Square, although they've gained some new storefronts, they are losing a storefront. This is the Blue Butterfly, located at 113 Trapello Road, directly across from Starbucks. The owner, Erin Brown, is a Belmont resident, and she opened the shop 2 years ago. But unfortunately, the timing wasn't good for her, because very shortly after she opened, we had the pandemic. She was forced to shut down. Then her kids were going to school remotely, and she had to stay home with them, which was difficult for her to, have a shop. But also there's the ongoing lawsuit between the former owner of the Bradford and the developers, which is preventing the retail storefronts from being rented. And this has been going on for years and will continue for a few more years.
And it's affecting other businesses as well.
Yeah, this made it difficult for her to remain open. However, she wants people to know that she still has her online store, which is the butterfly.com. And she's also joining vendors at a retail space in Norwood called Winsmith Mill. So you can find out more about that on her website, thebluebutterfly.com.
Okay, so Joanna, I understand that tea lovers have a new option for someplace to go in Belmont.
Yes, if you like tea like I do, and tea service, tea for two, or however many you are in your party, there is a place now where you can go in Belmont. Vintage Tea and Cake Company, located at 129 Belmont Street in Belmont. It's been open since 2015. However, it was takeout only. Also, she caters. She's a caterer. But in April of 2020, the Zoning Board of Appeals approved her request for a special permit to allow her to have seating for 16. And only recently has she started that. It's dining for 16 people right in there between the hours of 10 and 2. You can make a reservation Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I highly recommend it if you're just looking for a relaxing morning or afternoon with tea sandwiches and pastries and a variety of teas to choose from. And you can learn more at vintageteaandcake.com.
Okay, so let's talk about Broadway night at the Black Box Theater, which is coming to the new Belmont High School.
Yes, it's the first live performance, Mike, at the new Black Box Theater, which is part of the new Belmont High School building. It's happening October 21st and 22nd at 7 p.m. It's Broadway night, which is the first live performance that always kicks off the season for the Belmont High School Performing Arts Company. Students will be performing songs and dancing, and these are songs from, classic show tunes, contemporary work, and there's a couple of large group numbers that the theater director Ezra Sam said is going to be great to see. But this is all directed and produced by students, and there are very strict COVID protocols that will be in place that people will need to follow. Whether you're vaccinated or not, you need to wear a mask everywhere. You're not allowed to take it off anywhere in the building. Okay. And you also cannot attend if you're experiencing any symptoms. And they encourage family units to sit together. If the show is not sold out, they'll leave space between, different groups. They'll space out the groups. They are selling all tickets in advance. They don't expect any tickets to be available at the door. And
So
you
how can people get tickets, Joanna?
bhs-pac.org.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Joanna.
You're
It's
welcome.
good to talk with you, and we will see you next time. And next, Maribel Carvajal de Salazar interviews Phil Thayer and Dean Hickman, former and new chairs of Sustainable Belmont.
Welcome. Thank you, Phil and Dean, to be with us today.
Very nice to
Thank
meet you,
you.
Maribel.
Thank you.
Phil, starting with you. If I'm correct, you have been part of Sustainable Belmont for 10 years and chair since 2019. Now you're moving out of Belmont and so stepping away from Sustainable Belmont. Can you please explain us what's Sustainable Belmont?
Sustainable Belmont is a volunteer organization that was spawned by the town committee called the Vision 21 Committee. And Sustainable Belmont has been, since 2009, has been implementing some of the vision that came out of that Vision 21 Committee. So it's really helping Belmont to become a more sustainable town, environmentally sustainable, financially and fiscally sustainable, and make it a more livable community, which is what the town wants.
Correct. What are the achievements you're proud of or will stay memorable?
I am most proud of Sustainable Belmont's writing of the climate action plan that was subsequently voted overwhelmingly in favor of by the town meeting, and which the town's energy committee is now implementing. Additionally, there have been more recent accomplishments such as the Belmont Goes Solar, Belmont Drives Electric, Heat Smart Belmont, and the Sustainable Belmont's efforts to support the new high school in its energy saving elements that will help the town save $5 million. And we're very proud of that, that effort.
Great. And for what's next, I'm turning over to Dean. Dean, you've been a Belmont resident for 6 years now and a lifelong advocate for environment and sustainability issues. You're now the new chair of Sustainable Belmont. Can you tell more about yourself?
So obviously I grew up in Europe, but I made the jump to the United States over 25 years ago. I'm a scientist by training. I've always been amazed by sort of how disparate opinions can be brought together by good collaboration. And I have sort of a chemical, drug metabolism, xenobiotic metabolism background. So I really come from that background, but I fully understand the issues with climate change and the other issues that Sustainable Belmont has been supporting the town with. And so glad to have met Phil, which is really how I got to understand about Sustainable Belmont's mission.
Great, Dean and Phil, feel free to jump in. What's next for Sustainable Belmont?
Yeah, I can take that, Phil. You know, I think there are many of these efforts that are still ongoing. So continuing engagement on those town projects and committees to help ensure that they're in line with our climate and sustainability goals. Whether that's the middle high school here on Concord Avenue, the library, or other capital projects, making the town more walking and biking friendly. Broadening the focus, I think, with a focus on engagement of the younger members of town, because they're the ones, honestly, that will inherit the problems that we create. So I think it's absolutely critical that we get them involved wherever possible. Surveying the membership and to some extent possible the town in terms of what's important to town members and sustainability. And I think not forgetting the basics, things like rain barrels and composting. I think we have to kind of stay true to that. And picking up litter, you know, so.
Great. And can you share more about the Clean Green Belmont?
Yeah, so this is an example of one of those community things. So Phil introduced me to Lindsay Levine, and together we've co-chaired this organization called Clean Green Belmont. You can find out more about it by Googling those three words, Clean Green Belmont. But essentially, ourselves and a number of other citizens of Belmont have been observing a rise in litter on our streets and waterways. And we wanted to do something about it, from simple things of picking it up ourselves, just knowing that other people do it, organizing cleanups, working with the town and our great DPW, who really have been supportive of us to essentially improve the situation.
Phil, good luck with your new life in Concord. They will be lucky to have you. Would you give us the last message for Belmont residents?
It's been a pleasure working with so many Belmont residents over the years. It's a fantastic community. It has great potential, and I will be watching from the sidelines and helping to support Belmont's ongoing efforts. It's really been a pleasure. Thank you.
And Dean, any way how people can get information and would like to join?
Yeah, check out our website at sustainablebelmont, all one word, .net, N-E-T, and you'll find out all about us there. And there's an email there that you can email and you can join our movement and learn more.
On Monday, Belmont held its first celebration of Indigenous Peoples Day. The Belmont Media Center was there, and Julie DeStefano shares the highlights.
It is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to Belmont's first celebration of Indigenous Peoples Day. We acknowledge that the residents of Belmont live on unceded land that is the traditional territory of Indigenous Massachusetts tribe. The Massachusetts cared for and stewarded this land for hundreds of generations.
I'm Laura Ovchadova, president of the Student Activist Club at Belmont High School. About a year ago, Student Activist Club started a petition and began working towards changing Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day here in Belmont. We felt this change would be the important first step towards celebrating and honoring Indigenous peoples and moving away from honoring Columbus and his terrible history.
The Town of Belmont, Massachusetts Select Board Proclamation. Whereas, in accordance with Article 5 voted at the 2021 Belmont Annual Town Meeting, the Town of Belmont proudly proclaims the second Monday in October as Indigenous Peoples Day.
We are so excited to have Bomba Antillana with us here today. Bomba Antillana is a diverse group of people of varying ages and lived experiences, learning together, building community, and connecting themselves to their ancestors through Bomba. Bomba is the oldest living musical tradition of Boriquen, the island currently known as Puerto Rico, and reflects the powerful forces that shaped the island's history, drawing from the West African Bantu and Taino indigenous experience with enslavement enforced on the island by the Spanish crown prior to the 1700s.
Those who were enslaved on the plantations, whether it was sugar, rice, coffee, they communicated through this art form that we now call bomba. Shout out to Belmont for making today Indigenous Peoples Day here.
Courtney Morton is organizing Christmas in the Village again on behalf of the Belmont Village Tenant Association. She's with us today to tell us more about it. So welcome, Courtney. And can you explain what Christmas in the Village is?
Yes, Christmas in the Village is a fund to help the children of Belmont Village. We started this 3 years ago. This is our third annual holiday. Even despite COVID, we still got to run Christmas in the Village, which is amazing. What we do is there are 100+ children in the development of Belmont Village.
Okay.
And we reach out to the town, to businesses, and ask for sponsors. And what the sponsors commit to is either getting gift cards or presents. Each child on a sign-up sheet that we send out gets to pick out up to $100 worth of gifts. And then we give the sponsors a child or two, however many they choose to do. And they go and buy those gifts that the said child picked out. The first year we did not as much. I think we did like $50 in gifts, and we did a holiday party. But due to COVID, we couldn't do that last year. So we did $100 per child, and then we did $100 per parent. So the parents got $50 in food and $50 in Target for themselves.
How many? I'm sorry, Courtney. How many families and children were you able to help last year?
Oh, last year, don't quote me on the number because I don't have it in front of me. But we went from helping like 5 families to helping about 20 families.
And let me ask you, Courtney, what's the goal for this year?
I would like all of the people to sign up in the village, just because we're all there for the same reason,
Mm-hmm.
and it's holiday, get the help. I'm looking to do the same, which was about, I could be wrong, 60 kids I'd like to support again. We already have 8 families that have signed up, and the signups are due by this weekend, but they'll pass them in late as always.
Okay.
And we're really just looking for the community to come together because we want to do the gift cards for the family again, gingerbread houses again. I mean, this community, I couldn't have done this without the community, honestly. Honestly, I couldn't have.
Courtney, let me ask you how Belmont residents can participate or help.
They can reach out to myself. A lot of them have my contacts on Facebook from doing this previously.
Okay.
They can also email us at the Belmont Village TA@gmail.com and express that they want to be part of it, or they can stop by Spoodle Soup Factory. I'm there Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday the most. That's also a drop-off spot for donations. But they can always message me, see what the demand is. Sometimes I get enough sponsors where the kids are taken care of, and then we move on to the next initiative, which would be gloves, scarves, socks, hats, board games, gingerbread houses, things like that. So it all depends on the turnout of support. But we work with the 501c3. So if people just want to donate money and they don't have time to go shopping, they can do that too and get the cash write-off at the end of the year. Right now, we're not 501c3. We're working on that. But we're working with a religious Beacon community does work alongside us. So some people, I just want to let people know that, just because some people are wary about donating to a religion, it does, technically your donation goes to them, but it comes right to our pockets. They don't take anything from us. It's strictly for the village.
So let me ask you, Courtney, how would, if people preferred to go that route, how would they make a donation to that organization?
So they could just write, they can write out a check, and in the memo, just put Christmas in the Village, just so they know. And they can, again, you can send everything into Spoodles. Just put my name on it, Courtney Morton at Spoodles. It's 374 Trapello Road.
Okay. All right.
And they can mail in their donations, or like I said, they can just shoot us an email, Facebook, show up and just let me know how many kids they want to sponsor, what they're looking to sponsor. Some people, it's just easier to grab a few board games. Some people, it's easier to go grab the gingerbread houses. However they feel fit is really what we need, because we just want the community to come together.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Courtney Morton. And we certainly hope that Christmas in the Village is a big success this year. And so you've provided contact information, and now it's up to Belmont residents. And now for our Belmont community calendar. If you're eager to check out the new Belmont High School, community tours are being organized for Wednesday, October 20th, Saturday, October 23rd, and Wednesday, October 27th from 4 to 6 p.m. There's no need to register, just show up. Join the public library and Belmont Farmers Market for an online cooking class with Blonde Beauchamp, a Haitian American Boston native who delights in sharing the tasty recipes of her ancestral home on Saturday, October 23rd from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. Blonde will walk you through the steps for preparing a delicious stewed vegetable dish along with white rice and twice fried plantains. The cooking class is free, but you need to register on the public library website. Learn about the local wildlife that is often misunderstood with the Massachusetts Audubon Habitat in an online series starting on Tuesday, October 26th at 7 p.m. Bats, possums, ravens, or wasps, you will know the truth behind their sometimes misleading reputations. 4 sessions are planned. Register at massaudubon.org. Fall Workshop Week is almost here at Powers Music School, and they've got some new workshops for you. Starting on Tuesday, October 26th, and running through Saturday, October 30th, in person or online, take a break from your regular lessons and classes to try something, learn something, or create something entirely new. Fall Workshop Week is free for everyone. You can check it out online at powersmusic.org/workshop-weeks/. Do you know someone, or are you taking care of someone with memory impairment? If yes, the Beach Street Center invites you to a memory cafe on Thursday, October 28th at 11 a.m. Please come and enjoy refreshments, sensory stimulation activities, and supportive socializing in a stigma-free atmosphere. Call Dana Bickelman at 617-993-2977 for more information. That's it for this week's Belmont Journal. Thanks for watching. I'm your host, Mike Crowley, and we will see you next time.